Can't hear you though.
Hello.
Hi. Good to see you. Hey there, Robert. Can you hear us? Okay. So, who did not get the email that I sent out to the design team? Everybody got it? Beautiful. Robert, can you hear us?
Thomas, was that the email with the agenda and the practices you requested?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Robert? You can hear us? Can't hear you. I want to get this show on the road, boys and girls. Robert? We can't hear you.
Now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right, very good. So you're 4 minutes late. So you get 4 licking.
Do it.
So boom, 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 boom.
Oh, give me one more.
One more.
I told you he'd like it.
Yeah. All right, so funny as it might be, back up your world 4 minutes so you can be here so we can start on time, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So I wanted to distinguish something with you guys before we jump in and do the meditation. This is having thoughts versus real thinking. Okay, I think we're going to have to mute you guys because I'm either getting feedback, something's going on.
Having thoughts versus real thinking.
There we go. Okay, I've muted everybody. Yeah, having thoughts versus real thinking. And this was presented by William, I could not in a million years pronounce this last name, but it begins with a D. I find for myself that my first thought is never my best. My first thought is always someone else's. It's always what I've already heard. It's what I think I already know about the subject. It's always the conventional wisdom. It's only by concentrating, sticking to the question, being patient, letting all the parts of me come into play that I arrive at an original idea. By giving my brain a chance to make associations, draw connections, new conclusions, in fact, take me by surprise. And often, even that idea doesn't turn out to be very good. I need time to think about it. I need time to make mistakes and recognize them, to make false starts and correct them, to outlast my impulses, to defeat my desire to declare the job done and moving on to the next thing. Nothing we have to do with that, you guys, but I thought it was very powerful. And Rashi, you remember back in the early programs that we designed, the thing about, I think we said you have to create something 6 times before it's what you really want. Was it 7 times? 7 times. Yeah. The first time you get something, the second time you see something, the third time it gets recreated, you think it's it. The fourth time you pull something out, put something in and change it. By the 6th or 7th time, you have something that's it. So I share that with you because this is our 8th meeting, our 8th opportunity to think through the quantum shift, to start noticing where we're weak individually, where we're weak at bringing ourselves fully to something to literally alter our own lives and the lives of those people around us, like something magical. To notice and to be flabbergasted with me at what's between us and actually being our true, creative, powerful quantum self. So we're going to do the feeling meditation together. It's a 9-minute meditation. And let's go ahead and do that now.
Excuse me.
God bless.
Thank you.
Thomas, are we supposed to be hearing something?
Yeah, you can't hear it?
No, none of us can.
Well, horse piss.
That we heard.
The horse piss?
Yes.
All right. This one's loud. Let's see how this goes.
I have it. You want me to play it?
Well, let's see how this goes first. And then if it doesn't work, yes. So if you would, please close your eye.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
What happened?
Heard it.
Yeah, but something happened. Stop playing. That's weird. And allow yourself to get. Oh, I see what's happening. I'm gonna feel. There we go. So if you would, please close your eyes and allow yourself to get present to any contractions in the body. You might start at your feet and kind of feel any contraction. You don't have to make it wrong or push against it. Just notice it and let go. And then keep moving up. Come all the way up into your lower back, over your shoulders. Notice how much you're hanging on to and let go. Thank you. Bring your attention to the breath. And now allow yourself to be conscious of the guilt and the shame you're holding on to. You don't have to name it. You don't have to tell yourself a story about it. I just want you to feel it. Practice right now. Feeling versus thinking. Just feel. Keep breathing and feel. You'll start to notice where you hold it. Gently breathe into the area. And now let go. Very good. Notice the desire for punishment. There's no story you have to entertain. Just notice the pull. And now let go. Keep breathing. It's a matter of learning how to manage these primal feelings, the guilt and the shame, to manage them in ways that are constructive. Not blindly giving in to them or avoiding them or trying to fight against them. Just simply managing by walking in forgiveness, walking in quantum forgiveness. And that will shape how you respond to the primal feelings. And you will no longer be at the mercy of them. Good job. Keep fighting on. And if you would, gently open your eyes and just allow light in. And notice color. Notice shapes. Notice texture. And notice movement. Seeing is happening. Get present to that which is experiencing the seeing. The essence of who you are. Continue to breathe. And now bring your attention to hearing. Listen to the sounds that seem closest to you. And now venture out and listen to the sounds that are further away. Hearing is happening. And it's happening on its own. Bring yourself present to that which is experiencing the hearing. The quantum self. And now newly feel. Feel the sensations in the body newly. Notice feeling happening. Get sensitive to feeling. See if you can feel the air on your bare skin. Feel the fabric against your skin. Feel the pull of gravity on your body, pulling you into the chair, to the floor. Feel the gravity pull on your body. You are designed to feel. Feel energy. Beautiful. Now bring your attention to that which is experiencing the feeling. That which is experiencing the seeing, experiencing the hearing, experiencing the feeling. Who or what is that? Bring your attention to that. Very good. Let go of anything in the way of you being present. Thank you. Let go again. Thank you. You can pick it up later. Let it go for now. Right now is only to experience life. Feel the physical sensation of your breath. Feel. I want you to feel the vibrations of all the sounds. With your eyes open, feel the energy of light giving you pictures. Feel it the best that you can. Just feel. Very good. Now, live life. Live life well. Put aliveness first. Put love first. Okay. Oh, everybody's muted. Couple of hats. Okay, very good. So everybody's awake except Larry. Larry, open your eyes, come back. Can't hear you. Maybe we still have you. No, I don't muted. That's weird. You're not muted on our end. You might be muted on your end. We can't hear you. I can hear that. Okay, everybody. So the things we want to accomplish during our time together are the following. We want to eliminate, remove, get rid of any distance between each other individually and ourselves with the group. We want to then use that practice to consider where we have distance with people who are most important in our life. Our family members, partners, whoever that might be for you. Then we want to get in touch with the promises and the outcomes of the course. Now, I sent those to, Rasha, did I send those to you to look at? Okay, that might be a no. Joanne, did I send them to you to look at?
Yes, I've got them.
Okay. My hope was that maybe you'd look at them before now.
Oh, I did look at them before now. I didn't get that you wanted me to respond. I thought it'd be part of the call.
Yeah, because I wanted to use those, but I wanted to use what we teased out. But we're just going to use the call to tease them out. So
Okay.
we're going to get in touch with the outcomes of the course and plan our journey to authentically get there. So it's one thing for us to talk about what we want people to get. It's a whole other thing for us to hold ourselves accountable to having gotten that before we ever walk into the room. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
And then integrity. We want to distinguish integrity, and we want to complete anything where integrity is out. And that's it. When you leave, I'm going to ask you to do the feeling meditation once a day. I'm going to ask you to complete distance with people in your life and bring integrity to every relationship with things and projects in your life. So those are the things I'm going to ask you to do when you leave the call. I'll come back to that. But let's go ahead and start with any distance. So if it's okay, I'll start, kind of get the ball rolling so you get a sense of what is distance. Distance can show up a lot of different ways. It doesn't mean I have a problem with you. So I want to start with Charlie. So Charlie, some distance I have with you is, well, I don't know that anybody knows, but I want to make people aware because it occurred to me that I never acknowledged the kind of participation that you've brought, not just to the team, but to everything that we've done in these past 3-4 years. And, I was looking at like my client base. There are 4 clients, long-term clients, good clients that have all hired me as a result of you, Charlie. And I don't know that I ever acknowledged you for that. And I know I thanked you for Peter a number of times, but I just want to acknowledge and thank you for who you've been in the work that we're doing, but to me personally, and I want to clear that out of the space because it's always there for me, like I should say something and I don't. So is there anything there for you? Any distance that's there between you and I that you want to unload?
Unload. No.
Okay. Very good.
No, not regarding that. No.
Okay, good. And then, so I don't think I have any distance with Larry. Larry, you and I had a telephone conversation. I'm totally complete with you. Robert, you and I spent the day together. I feel totally great with you. Rasha, there's nothing between us. We talk probably more than I talk to anybody on here. And Joanne, you and I were just spent time together, and I'm looking. I don't think I have any distance with you. I think everything's good there for me. So I probably didn't do a very good job because I don't have much distance with you guys because I talk to you on a regular basis, but I'll support you as you go through. So who wants to jump in and just complete any distance that might be there for you? Yeah, go ahead, Rasha. Thanks.
So going through that exercise this week, it was interesting to me some of the folks that were coming up to mind, and some of them were super close. Like my mom, it's really important for my mother that I call her every week, and I haven't, and Joanne just kind of came out of the conversation we had together. I have not brought her, I haven't made her current on my new case.
Rasha, I'll tell you, it sounds like feedback. So if you got that on a speakerphone, you're going to get feedback from the rest of us.
Okay, let's try this. Any better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I left my earbuds that you got me in the car. So just bringing my mom especially current. It's really important to her that she connects with me every week, and just my current pace, I have not been doing that. And which brings me to kind of with the team, I want to acknowledge a few things. So when we, like in February, I started this new position where I'm at, and I knew it would be demanding. I just didn't know, I think, to what degree it was going to be demanding. And it is consuming a huge portion of my time. And Thomas and I were talking about that. Was it this weekend or earlier this week? And I just want to acknowledge, like, in terms of integrity, like, I've been showing up late sometimes or not showing up at all. But Thomas and I had that conversation, but we hadn't had it with the team. And so I wanted to just acknowledge all of you and say, you know, I apologize for not kind of sharing, like, the same thing with my mom, you know, like, this is what's going on in my life. This is why some of this behavior shows up this way. And I talked to Thomas and I said to, you know, kind of bring integrity to this. I am going to request a sabbatical from this team until about this time next year. So we start licensing in January, and then after that, it'll take a few months to get all the kinks worked out. So it has created distance in that energy-wise, right? Like that deep connection, that deep, it felt non-committal. How about we say it that way? Even though I was committed, there's certain ways that I show up that I feel like I haven't shown up.
Yeah, the thing, let me just say this to you. So the thing to be responsible for to the group is that you are a leader and you have been the front runner from the very beginning, and to see the front horse lagging behind leaves a particular impression. So you want to be responsible for the impression because it sets up how everybody else just thinks it is. Like that. See, and you just, so what you could clean up is that you were not being who you are. You get what I mean? Like, how we listen to you is not who you were being. You weren't giving yourself like, hey, people model me. People use me as a to this is how we work around here. This is what we do. Like that.
He said it way better.
Yeah, it's my job. Yeah, and I, you know, what I want to say about that to everybody is, you know, she is extremely count-onable. And even in the midst of the breakdowns with her being available or not available, the work that she's promised me always gets done. Always gets done. Now, is it Rasha done? Probably not. It's a little less Rasha than I would expect, but it gets done, you know, and I never wonder. It's like, it's just not on my mind, and I so appreciate that, and I will miss that. So Ross's intention is to be with us until the August event. And then from that point on, we'll be without her until sometime next year. Is that correct, Rasha?
That is correct.
Okay, very good. Thanks for owning all that and cleaning all that up and like that. Thanks. Are you good?
I'm good.
Uh-oh, what's there?
I'm trying not to cry.
Oh, you're not going anywhere yet.
It's just what there is for me, which is the other thing it brings up for me. There's a deep intimacy that I have with you. I can't explain it in words. And it's super hard. Like, it's
Oh, it's hard for me too, girl. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, and there's something there. It's just like there's this emotion there.
Right on. Well, then we don't need to suppress anything, right?
Right.
But, you know, like I said to you from the very beginning, if this is the thing that feeds some part of your soul, then I'm so thrilled, you know, that we're doing it together and having fun together with it. And if it becomes the thing that gives you something that you can carry to that which is more important to you in the future, I totally, like, I want you to have everything, you know, everything. And if it's here, God bless us. If it's not, God bless you. You know, I want you to have everything that you need, for real. And I mean that for everybody. You know, I mean, this is your life. And I want this time that we're together to be source for you to accomplish what matters to you and what you want. And I'm glad to be able to participate, you know. Okay, you good?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to jump in there next? Thanks, Rasha. I think Charlie's frozen. Move your hand, Charlie. Nope, you're not frozen. Okay. All right. Okay, good. All right. Well, if there's no distance to complete, then just basic integrity. Anything for anybody?
Well, I actually have one thing to say on the distance thing.
Yeah.
And that is that for me, there's a disconnect with Robert and that I don't know Robert. So whenever you ask, is there a distance? Well, there's a distance, but it's not from anything that he has done or not done. It's just I don't know him.
Yeah.
And so, Robert, if you're willing, if you want to give me your phone number, I'll give you mine. We can connect offline and have a call that's like a get to know you call so that I do feel connected to you.
Okay, sure.
Okay. And then Charlie and Larry, I've known for a long time, and there's nothing there. There's one thing that I have to say for at least Thomas and I think we're really good at taking care of business when we get disconnected along the line. Like, so I would be surprised to find that there wasn't something there or that there was something there that we hadn't addressed.
Agreed.
And I like life that way.
Now, you did say to me, you had a conversation with me regarding Rasha.
Yes.
And there's distance between you and Rasha that you need to complete.
We actually had a call last night and took care of it between her and I.
Very good. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, great.
So I wasn't willing to let it continue on.
Love it.
So I actually texted her and requested a conversation, which she found some time in for yesterday. So we got that done and managed it. And we just
Perfect.
sorry.
Perfect. Thank you. Excellent. Anything for you, Charlie?
Yeah, yes and no. And so, just being me, you know, you're looking about having thoughts versus real thinking. I have thoughts. And they're not always empowering ones.
Yeah.
And so I think in the course of time, I probably made everyone wrong at some point or another on the team. But that's my perception, you know, and I get you guys didn't do anything. It's just me. But what I found closes that distance is that when I practice I am forgiven, it just removes all that stuff. With anyone I'm having issues with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, very
I
good.
apologize to you all. You're great. I love being on this team.
Right on. Yeah, we love having you. You provide a great resource and energy and personality. We love having you here.
Thank you.
Anything for you, Robert or Larry?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Well, I don't know everybody on the team. I don't really know Larry. I know Charlie. We haven't had deep conversations, and I haven't felt like that has been a hindrance as far as the team. As far as doing the work, I feel like I have an expectation of how I would do the work, and so I've been struggling with that just because my life has changed. I'm just like busy, and everybody's busy. And so what I noticed this week, I did the feeling meditation, and I also put the heart map, the thing you wear.
The West Point.
Yeah, I put all that. Well, the actual thing where you watch.
Oh, the machine.
So I've kind of put all that back in, and so how I noticed today, especially around the feeling thing, what I gave the two things, it's cyclical. So I would really notice the propensity towards want to suffer. So what that would look like would be have the feeling, then let go, and then if it wasn't like up to some standard, which I don't know where I got, then I could suffer for not doing it right. And so I'm just in the thing of like just noticing the feeling and just being wherever I am in the process. Let that be, that's where it is. Does that make sense?
Totally. Yes.
So the other thing that I noticed that distance would be between you and I, to where you have a request that you would like to see some of the distinctions from Fresno or Tahoe put into some of the, right? So,
Not Tahoe, but Fresno, Tahoe, whichever. Yes.
well,
Yeah.
so what I noticed was like, that's a shitload of work, because that means going through hours and trying to find sound bites.
Yeah.
And then how to make that work, because the quality of what we're working with is so shitty. Right?
Well, you said to me, hey, there's some parts in that Fresno video we can use. That's what you said to me. You didn't say it's so shitty.
Well,
You said there are parts in that Fresno video we can use. Now, put that on pause. Just put that on pause for a second.
yeah.
The next thing is, I got what you said. That's a shitload of work. Now, think about this for a moment. If somebody asks you to do a shitload of work, what do you do with that?
I say it's a shitload of work.
All right, that's one place where you might start, but there's something else you could do with it. Given, Robert, the business that you're generating, just as a businessman, we've been working out in trade, which, by the way, is just the worst idea that anybody can ever do, right? I mean, you and I, we talked about that in the beginning. I said, this is so against every fucking rule of business I've ever had, but we're going to do it. And we've worked it out pretty well. But we're now at a point, where that's no longer working. It's not going to work for me, and it's not going to work for you. So we got to now renegotiate our deal. Agreed?
Okay, sure.
Now, if I want you to do that, it's a shitload of work. Robert, the businessman, is going to say what to me?
We need to renegotiate how we're doing this.
Yeah, well, you might say that, or you might say, Tom, I need to take a look at it and see how much time it's going to take me, and I'll give you a proposal.
Okay.
You could do that. See, because here's how it works. A consumer wants to get as much for their dollar as they can. A business person wants to generate income. So you got to look out for yourself from that angle, and I look out for myself from this angle, right? I'm so glad we're having this conversation, though, because the last thing I want between you and I is this shit. Because there's a lot of possibility here. And I admire the work that you do, and I'm willing to pay for the work that you do.
Okay, I got that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, that was it this week.
Do you feel handled, or do you feel complete?
Well, I don't feel complete, because there's also because I really started getting into cutting that Fresno up and having ideas about how to do it. And some of that is, we can go into that later, but it might be like we recorded the other week. Maybe we record distinctions as a separate.
Got it. Maybe not cut up that and do it. Yeah, got it. Do it a different way.
Here was my thought, was for what's coming up, that I find a couple pieces that I can use. Because on those kind of Facebook postings, I only need like 10 seconds.
Right.
So I'm still working with that. That's what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you and I will visit that.
We have our call tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll take some time and work all these details out.
All right.
You good for that?
Yeah.
May I make a suggestion? And that is, so I'm waiting for a yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So in June, there's the San Francisco event that is part of our meeting. If when you're going through, you note the times that something powerful was said, you don't have to go back through the shitload of work. You know, at 34 minutes or 39 minutes or whatever, there was a moment in time to go back and just research that moment if it works.
Got it.
Make it like a living thing rather than to have to go back and rehash.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Robert.
Yeah.
Really, thank you. Anything for you, Larry?
Nobody with the team. It's so funny because Monica just called me, and I don't know, she's somewhere in Amsterdam or something. And she called like 8 or 9 times, and every time I decline it, she'd just call right back, and I couldn't text her to tell her to call.
So that's on your mind. Yeah. Pepe's been calling me from Mexico.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then he texted me and said, please call me. I don't know what's going on with that. So it's kind of in the space, like I'm pushing it out of the way, you know?
Well, after about the 5th time, I answered it because I thought maybe there was an emergency.
Oh.
But she couldn't hear me anyway because I was still on.
Okay. All right, very good. So thanks, everybody. We'll keep practicing that, to make sure every time before we begin that anything that's there, we have the opportunity to get it out of the way and to reduce any kind of embarrassment we might have about it. We may be embarrassed about having that conversation. I don't know. So as far as integrity, so I want to clean up some integrity over here with you. We have not had the kind of structure necessary to get everything out of every call that we need. So that is the reason why you got the email from me, giving you some sense of what we're going to cover on the call. It'll always be flexible because we're human beings and I want us to be creative, but it also points us in a direction. And so I want to acknowledge that I haven't been that, and I haven't been doing that. And you can count on that from now on. So on Mondays, you'll get an email that just gives you a breakdown of what we're going to do on Thursday. And it may give you something to think about. There was nothing else you needed to do here, by the way, you guys. I think you read it like this was something for you to do before you came to the call. And I apologize. It's actually the agenda for our call. Is what it was. And I don't think I expressed it very well. So every Monday, you'll get like an agenda. So you have some sense of what we're going to cover, okay?
Okay.
I'm guessing you're saying okay.
Yes.
All right. The promises of the course. Now, these are possible promises that we can create for the quantum shift. And Robert, we especially need this for, the landing page that we do for the quantum shift.
Yeah.
Nothing for you to write down at this moment unless you hear something that you want to put in or take out. These are already typed up. I'm happy to send them to anybody who wants them. Keep in mind, these are loose. These are loose for us to now tease out and say, yes, this is what we're after, okay? There's about 10 of them. We're only going to capture maybe 4, I think. Possible promises of the course. Number 1, accessing peace, joy, and harmony in the face of anything. All caps, anything. Number 2, the ability to think clearly and with less stress in a crisis.
Mhm.
Number 3, the ability to access and use intuition powerfully in all situations. Number 4, a complete shift in how you view and respond to your circumstances, both current and in the future. Number 5, expanding love around you, identifying and getting beyond the counterfeit. Now that's one little group. Another little group, when you complete this program, you will experience immediate results
Thomas,
Yeah.
can you please mute everybody?
Okay, sure. I think.
Better.
Okay. When you complete this program, you will experience immediate results in, number one, accessing peace, joy, and harmony in the face of anything. Number two, accessing your intuition and heart in a profound way, experiencing more vitality. Number three, you will have significantly less stress in dealing with day-to-day occurrences. Then we continue on. You will embrace the full potential of the quantum life, honoring this moment forever without waiting for any future moment. Number two, experience the practice of letting go and being an empty vessel where life energy naturally flows through. Number three, come face to face with the tremendous capacities and abilities we gain when we let go of the small self. Number four, distinguish feeling at a very real level. The feeling habit, the habit, shit. I don't even know what I was writing on that one. Oh, I know. That was just, it was like the brainstorming. Okay, walk out of the room being authentically the quantum self. That's everything I've got so far. So if we were just going to put down 3 or 4 points that say, when you leave this program, you will experience immediate results in what? Are there any of those that stood, oh, I forgot, you're muted. Are there any of those that stood out to you like, that sounds good, or no, that sounds not so good? Any of them?
Yeah, for me, definitely life unfolding. I always think that's powerful. That phrase always really, I think that's a great phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I would love to see him or hear him again because
Sure.
they're basically the same thing, and just how to get all of those condensed into really succinct, you know, phrases. Yeah, would you mind reading them again?
No, of course not.
You can mute us again. Then it's clear.
You got it. Damn it. Get out of my face. Don't say that. Okay. When you complete this program, you will experience immediate results in, I'm going to put these side by side. So one way to say it is accessing peace, joy, and harmony in the face of anything. Oh, that's the only way I have it. Okay. Number 2, accessing your intuition and heart in a profound way, experiencing more vitality. That's one way I said it. Another way I said it was the ability to access and use intuition powerfully in all situations. Do you like one of those better than the other, or not at all?
The second one.
The second one better? The second one says,
I will use intuition, learn to use intuition in a profound way, I think.
Yeah, it says accessing your intuition and heart in a profound way, experiencing more vitality.
Now, see, what I loved, what all poked out to me was in all situations.
In all situations.
I like that phrase. That really was like, oh, I could really fucking use that.
Gotcha. Very good. Rasha, I see you flailing around. What is it?
So think bite size. If you introduce more than one concept in a statement, the intent of the statement gets lost. So we're talking about vitality and intuition and, you know, so then some of that, it gets clunky. So when you said, I think this first time, and I'm not opposed to any of the comments, we can just simplify it. Like the ability to access and use intuition powerfully. It's like you're going to access something and you're going to be able to use it. You can even just say the ability to access and use intuition. I mean, because all of it gives you power. Once you're able to access it, you automatically have power. So just as you're phrasing them. So I did find, you did send them to me, Thomas, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. And I sent them to Larry, Robert, and Charlie right now so that we can at least read along with you.
Oh, cool.
I don't know that
Hold on. Yep.
So
Yeah, I got it.
Thomas, you had mentioned to me that we were brainstorming on them. So I've actually had them up for a few days up on my screen. And what I noticed is the accessing your intuition and heart. And I tied that in with experiencing the practice of letting go and being an empty vessel. So what I found for myself is where my flaw is. I can still get behind. I feel pissy. I want to let go. But when I feel a moment of bliss and joy, I want to hold on for dear life. So what I had to do is, instead of like beating myself on the head every time I had a moment of joy I wanted to hold on to, I wanted to take a step back, and I've been taking on the practice of not judging the moment, just feel and let go, instead of, this is a good one and this one isn't. This one's annoying. This one I like. And that gave me more power to let go. Just acknowledge the moment and let go.
Okay, so what are you saying?
So somehow I want, in that line, experience the practice of letting go and being an empty vessel. It's somewhere in there for me. The practice had to include not judging it in order to freely let it go. And
okay. So these, so that we all, these are the outcomes, right?
Right.
And now that we're talking, and I read that and hear it again, and then the same thing that Rasha had said, that's like got a lot of thoughts in it. I'm all those at the bottom, I'm kind of leaning away from. So right now, what I see based on the input so far. So why sign up for the quantum shift? What the hell is it? Well, you're going to leave the program accessing peace, joy, and harmony in the face of anything. So that's number one. Number two, you're going to leave the program with the ability to access and use intuition. Now, we're either going to say use it powerfully in all situations, or we're just going to say use intuition. Here's powerfully in all situations. I think so too, as an outcome. For us, we know if I have intuition, or if I can access my intuition, I'm going to have power. But for somebody who's saying, why should I do this? Well, you're going to leave with the ability to access intuition powerfully in all situations. So I like that one. And that's what you said, right, Robert? That's the one that you pointed to?
Yeah, and I have a question, and maybe this isn't the time to bring it up, but it's like, who is this? Who's going to see this? I mean, who are you trying to get in the door?
Well, the people that I think we're going to get in the door with this are people who have either already done some of the work that we've provided, some of the stuff I've already done, and then hopefully those people will share it with people who they think might enjoy it too. So it will probably be people who have a transformational background.
Okay, that was my question about, because in the language, unless you have that background, it's like accessing, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so what are the results that people want, and how do you tell them? What language do you use to tell them what it is that they can get? I mean, why get to you instead of somebody else?
Well, how about this then? How about when you complete this program, you will experience immediate results in having peace, joy, and harmony in the face of anything.
Yeah. The thing, because remember that on Tahoe, I was listening, and it was like, how much, it's like, we're also trained in Landmark that we don't think anything about that language. But when other people hear it, it's kind of like, I don't know if they want to go into it or not.
Yeah, very good. Good point.
So maybe something you and I can talk about later.
That's a good point. Okay, so we'll shift the language on this. All right, so right now we have the ability to access information powerfully in all situations, having peace, joy, and harmony in the face of anything. And what would the third one be?
I love that one, without waiting for any future moment. I think that's really plain spoken.
Let's see.
You know-
Embrace the full potential. So maybe what we say here, and instead of what I've written, maybe we say, embrace the full potential of the present moment, honoring this moment forever without waiting for any future moment.
I like the first half of that.
Okay?
I think for me, it's a little bit too much. People could get lost in that.
All right.
But the first part of it, I love.
Embrace the full potential of the present moment. Period.
Yes. Yeah. Thomas, I didn't hear anything about a breakthrough in forgiveness or something like that.
Well, to tell you the truth, that's not how I see this course.
Okay.
Will we use quantum forgiveness? Absolutely. But the breakthrough in forgiveness actually should happen in the heart shift, not this one. In my opinion. I'm always willing to relook. Okay, can we come up with a fourth one?
I really think one of the big things out of this work we've been doing is distinguishing feeling. There's a lot of definition of feeling out there in the world between the transformational language and the self-help language.
Right.
And the way you look at feeling in this course is very distinct. It's not like trying to alter anything. It is getting present to what is going on right now.
So would you say distinct? So you will leave this course distinguishing feeling at a very real level.
Period.
Robert?
I like that.
All right, good.
Plain speak, I think, is the key. And I agree with Rasha. I mean, the big thing that's going on, there's a lot of, just looking at the landscape of self-help and self-awareness, and in that group, there's a lot of feeling. There's a lot of heart in terms of just like, terms that you could kind of go, there it is. You start to see trends show up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
Hopefully out of the work that we do, they hear that language different than they did before.
Yeah, first thing, I mean, it depends. It's like the thing of like, and it's a whole thing about the marketing of what you're doing. We touched on this a little bit, but it's kind of like, what Landmark talks about, you look at what works, right? I mean,
well, Landmark's fundamental work is integrity. That's not morality. That is the foundation of everything that Landmark does.
Right. And I'm going to be talking about what they do. As far as like one of the ideas that I always took from Landmark is, well, you look at what works, what's working in the world. And what Rosh is kind of pointing to is you see the like heart, feeling, quantum, I think is a great term that's out in the world a lot. And then what you do with that language, it's just a hook to get people into what you're doing. Because that just says to me, they're in the landscape of people looking for how to change. Because basically, it's like people want to change. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for something other than that they have. And when you say something like, I mean, those are great phrases. Those are getting very succinct. I like that. And that's just me. It's looking at it as a language, like without waiting for any future moment. Just that phrase. I like the language of that. It's like there's I don't have to be part of Landmark to get that.
Right. Got it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, good. Thank you. Anybody else want to jump in here? I'm going to...
Thomas?
Yeah,
Thomas, can you distinguish, just for the sake of clarity for the group, like you used the word promises and then you used the word outcomes, and do they mean different things to you, or are they one and the same?
In this case, they're one and the same. they are distinct, generally speaking, but right now I'm using them as the same thing. Because
Okay.
we may create outcomes once we have the promises. So right now, I don't know if we're going to call them promises or outcomes.
Okay.
I don't know
So-
if I answered your question, though, really.
Oh,
Yeah, Joanne.
So distinguishing feeling at a very real level without the rest of it, to me, is flat. Because if you were approaching me or I was approaching an evening, I would think that I already know feeling because I'm a sensitive soul. I know when I'm upset. I know when I'm nervous. I'm not one of those people that's stuffed it down or has never shed a tear. So that to me would be confusing and not necessarily inviting.
Almost condescending.
In a way, it would be my permission to write you off. Distinguished feeling. Ah, got that.
All right, let me just make a note here.
I can hear Joanne. People might not see any value in that.
Yeah. I might think that there might be value in distinguishing your reoccurring feeling habit. I don't know. Because
Got it.
people always like to learn about themselves. That's just an idea. Because I go feeling habit. What do you mean feeling habit?
Right. Good point, Joanne.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, so I want this thing to let me share. I'm going to share my screen with you. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so what you see on the screen, I'm assuming everybody can see it, the Word document on your screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And this is the timeline as I see it so far. So we've divided it into 4 parts. This is part 1 of the 4. They walk in, they sit down, they hear the Rainbow Connection by the Carpenters. The opening conversation will get them set up as to how the day will go, how to listen to the various media that we're going to introduce in the room, what its purpose is, etc. And by the way, in case nobody knows or you don't remember, the purpose of the media is to move people into a feeling mode naturally. So the songs, like the music, the movie, both are intended to get people's hearts open naturally. That's what it's intended for. And then once we play that first song, we open, then I'm going to distinguish with them feeling. Feeling as a verb versus feelings as a noun. And, you know, there'll be an interaction to take out the what am I feeling to simply feeling. What's the difference, by the way, you guys? What is the difference between what I'm feeling is versus simply feeling? Somebody.
Well, the feeling is energy, but we're putting a label on it, as opposed to we're just feeling something.
Very good. So when you put a label on it, what do we generally call that in our group? You know, people, and now it's gone out into the world. We call it a story. So there's a story about what we think we're feeling, so much so that we have to use metaphoric speaking in order to talk about our feelings. Correct?
Yes.
So exactly what you said, though, Charlie, is what I'm pointing to. We want to get people to a place of feeling energy versus having to feel into a story about it. Because if you're going to let anything go, if you can disappear the story where that's no longer a part of it and get sensitive to energy, then you start letting go before it ever takes over your mind again.
Mhm.
Is this making sense, everybody?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is, for us, this really is fundamental to what we're up to, is that we want to be that which is feeling energy. Okay, then I'll do a timeline life versus right now life conversation. And we'll go into the first part of the movie, which is 17 minutes and 46 seconds. It ends right where Larry, you're going to have to mute yourself, man. When you move that phone around, it's like...
No, something fell over next to it.
It's funny, we can hear all that, but barely hear you. The part one of the movie is 17 minutes and 46 seconds long, and it ends where Todd writes on the paper, "Seize the day," and that's where we stop. So then they're still in the room, and I'm going to ask, so what stood out to you most out of this portion of our movie? Now, we know "seize the day" is one thing that stands out to us. "Food for worms" was another thing that stood out. I think there were several others, but I have to go back through the notes to find them. These were just fresh in my mind. Is there anything that stands out to you guys right away that I can add? I'll take that as a no. Then we'll have a conversation on physical death versus spiritual death. We are going to wake them up again to the small self conversation, like getting present to what are the concerns of the small self. So let me ask you, what are the concerns of the small self?
Protection.
And what is it protecting?
Me. My feelings. It's keeping me inside of a box to keep me safe.
And it's an illusion of safety, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
So that is the main concern of the small self, is to perpetuate itself. It has no knowledge of true self or higher self. It has no knowledge of that. It exists independent from that. It thinks it is the leader. So its concern is to perpetuate its existence. Then we distinguish the feeling habit. And in the feeling habit, I made a worksheet. And I'm going to send this to each of you so that you can have your feeling habit in existence. I
Wow.
want you to have it written somewhere and in existence. And then over the week, I want you to notice the different ways that your feeling habit gets expressed or experienced. Do you understand what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Larry, when you and I distinguished your feeling habit, forgive me because I don't have the exact language, but I remember there was something said about time, not having enough time or something like that. And what we did was we showed how the two connected. That's not by itself your feeling habit, but one place where it gets experienced for you is when you're trying to get something done. Like there's just, I think it was not enough time, but if I'm wrong, forgive me. But I know you and I talked about something that had two angles to it. Yes?
I missed the beginning of what you said because somebody was trying to call me. I had to decline it. But I do remember the conversation because it was, I brought up time but it really, there was something, I never really teased it out and figured out what that was. But
Oh, you don't think we ever did? Yeah, we did.
I thought we didn't.
Oh, yeah. We did. Okay, so I'm going to go back through my notes and I'll pull it out. Not now, but when we're done, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
We distinguished your feeling habit. And I want you to write it down when you get this form.
Well,
And one of the ways it gets experienced is in your relationship to time. But that in and of itself isn't the feeling habit. That's just another way it gets experienced. For me, I feel like I'm going to lose everything. Well, one way that I experience that is in feeling like there's not enough, feeling like I'm not included, feeling left out. Weird stuff like that is how my feeling habit gets experienced and expressed. But my actual feeling habit is I feel like I'm going to lose it all. And feeling like I'm going to lose it all has me work hard all the time. That feeling habit has me concerned with what I have and what I don't have, what I hang on to, and let go of. I'm a tightwad when it comes to money, and I'm not tight at all. It's just I hate to spend money. It's very weird. Now, this is going to get brought up in the room, so they're going to have this opportunity to distinguish their feeling habit. Then we're going to work on, and this is why it's important for us to have it, the different ways the feeling habit is expressed and experienced. Then later, after they do
Thomas,
the unique qualities and characteristics worksheet, they're going to come back and we're going to start putting the two together. But you'll see, this is all that I have on this so far. This is what you'll get.
Thomas.
Yeah.
So if we're going to use this worksheet with the participants as well, can you please put the distinction for feeling habit on the top, right where you have worksheet? Thank you.
Okay, got it. Will do. I'll do it on this one before I send it out to you guys. Anything that you all can see that you would want to add to this? Like right off the bat, anything that shows up like, oh, you know what? If we're going to have feeling habit there, maybe we should have blah, blah, blah? Not really?
Maybe right in front of them, it distinguishes feelings, with the difference between feelings and feeling.
that's what I thought too when I say something like that.
Okay, got it.
So go back to the outline though. Where is that going to be in your conversation?
This worksheet?
No,
You know what you're asking me? Or
Okay. So,
we're talking about feeling early on.
right. Because this is what we don't want confused is feeling and feeling habit. Because they're not, okay, so feeling habits later.
Yeah, feeling habit and feeling we're talking about the same thing when we talk feeling and feeling habit. The feeling habit is a feel like, right? And it's a habit that we're thrown to feeling ongoingly, and it blocks us from connection to true self-expression. It is distinct, and it is the same.
But what you want them to really get is that they have, a feeling habit, right? And so the pieces, how the structure, how you get to your feeling habit is you have to distinguish feeling and feelings. But what they're going to walk away with is, this is my feeling habit, and now I got something to walk around in the world with to use.
Well, now see what you'll finally get face to face with is that it's the feeling habit as an energy. Keep in mind, it's an energy. We have a name for it, and we have a story about it, but what we're practicing is getting it at an energetic level so that we know that energy when it shows up. And then you feel it in your body. You know, every one of us, we've done this work together where you found in your body and you started practicing letting go of contraction in the body first. But ultimately, what you're going to do with the feeling habit is you're going to start to see the feeling habit is the block. It is what blocks my experience and expression of true self leadership. It is the thing. So what am I going to practice letting go of? I'm going to practice letting go of my feeling habit. In every variety it shows up. Practicing letting go of that leads to the freedom for quantum self to get expressed. Does that land for you? Do you hear it, Rob?
Yeah, it does. I'm just wondering if feeling habit should be the first thing that you start to talk about and then let everybody know, and this is how we're going to start to look at this and take it apart and get where we're going. Because the feeling habit is basically, it's the same idea of, like we've talked about, a tone, like, you know, the tone of your life, the tone. I have a feeling habit that's like that everything gets run through. And so the more I get familiar with what that is and I'm aware of it, then I can just see it. Now I've got something that I can go, oh yeah, this is what I run my life through, is this. I have a tonal base, that's my feeling habit, and it shows up in all these different ways.
Do you remember what your feeling habit is?
My feeling habit was
Is.
my feeling habit is, no, I don't have it as a succinct.
Yeah. So this
It was nothing works out. It was in that realm. Nothing works out for me.
Yeah, I feel like that nothing works out. I think having this worksheet is going to be critical. And I want to enroll you, Robert, in the first part design. You must distinguish feeling before I can get you to a feeling habit. Because if I take you feeling habit first and you don't understand what I mean by feeling, like if you interpret feeling as an emotion, then you're not going to hear what a feeling habit is. So we've first got to distinguish powerfully what is a feeling versus an emotion. Feelings and emotions usually get lumped into one.
Right.
So we got to get that. Then as we come down, then we can start to point to now. If you can get, just like Charlie said, feeling is energetic, but you and I are thrown to add language to every bit of energy that we deal with. So we live in a story, but we don't have to.
Yes.
And that energy is habitual. That's why our lives so always look the same. It's a habitual way that we interpret the world, and it blocks quantum self-expression. All right. So now they learn a little bit about that. They start dealing with the worksheet. They start dealing with their own feeling habits. All of us are going to be able to share what ours are in order to support the room in getting to theirs. If they hear 3, 4, or 5 of us having done this work, it's going to be way easier and faster for them to get it done. Accurate?
Absolutely.
So I want to do this worksheet with each of you individually. Even though we've already done this work, I know it's not in existence, and we've got to put it in existence. Where it lives for you, like this, is my feeling habit. I want to know that you are authentically in the world noticing your feeling habit. Like, oh, that's just my feeling habit. And practicing letting go. Otherwise, this has got to be. Otherwise, you're not connected to what we're doing. You think you're connected and you're not. All right, then as soon as the worksheet's done, we're going to go to part 2 of the movie, which is from 1746, where it says seize the day, and we play it until 30:29, and I didn't put on here where that ends up. And when they come back, we start to distinguish letting go. Because in my mind, so Robert, stay with me on this. Now you got your feeling habit, and you've done the worksheet. So the worksheet's going to point to the different ways it shows up. I'm going to work with them in front of the room, and they'll dig a little deeper, and they'll start to see, oh, wow, there's all these different ways a feeling habit shows up. Now, get to it at an energetic level and notice that the energy is the same. Just different conversations around it, but it's the same energy. Did I lose you guys?
No.
Oh.
The screen changed.
Oh, that's right. The screen went crazy. My wonderful screen. Okay, here we go. And then, so once they have the feeling habit and they know that there's something to let go of, then we're going to train them in letting go. And we'll do the letting go exercise. We'll talk about what the red flags are and what the alarms are. You know, every time you notice you're holding on to something, it's just the alarm to let go. That leads us to resistance. I don't know that I'll do me, us, and them unless I come up with a new expanded conversation around it. So this is just the first part. I'm not going to go through every part. Notice we just finished the first part right there. And then I've got the second part, the third part, and the fourth part. And you can see these are still being worked out. But the first part of the day, part 1 of 4, I feel good about. Okay, so do the feeling meditation daily, please. Complete distance in any of your relationships, please, and bring integrity to everything. Just everything you can see integrity missing, bring integrity to it. And you getting conscious of your feeling habit, like authentically, is bringing integrity to this work. Because the feeling habit is fundamental to everything we're doing. Really, everything we're doing. If you don't have your feeling habit, then you're doing something, and it's probably great. It's just not what we're doing.
Yeah, got
Because
it.
it's pivotal. Okay? I will go back and dig into my notes for each one of you and pull out what the work I know we already did, and then we'll just tease it out a little bit more. But cool?
Yes.
Anything anybody needs to say to be complete?
I need Robert's phone number.
804-2236-916.
804-223-6916. Perfect.
Area code's 916. I said it backwards. 916.
Okay.
804
804.
2236.
Okay. I was like, I don't know where area code 804 is. I thought you were thinking that.
Anything for anybody to be complete?
I'm good.
Thomas, can I talk to you for a moment after everyone leaves?
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, guys.
There is something I'd like to say, Thomas. There's something that just keeps coming up, and this was from the first course, and it was a comment you made about aliveness first, life first, love first. Somehow that belongs in that day. I can't quite put it together, but it kept coming up for me as tying in. So I just thought I'd share that with you.
Okay. Very good. Thanks.
Rock.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Charlie, what's on your mind?
I have thoughts and feelings
Do you?
of transcendence now.
Oh, yes. I'm interested in hearing this.
I am experiencing healthy feeling habits now. Naturally, I feel, think, and speak thoughts that cause empowerment and thriving in my life now.
Mhm.
I naturally cause feelings of clarity for myself and others now.
Very nice. That would, you know, some of these affirmations you're reading that you created, we could put those in a meditation.
I continue to think evolving thoughts for my highest best now.
Hmm.
But you know what I'm seeing? You said something tonight
Well,
about having thoughts versus real thinking. I'm looking at these and I'm going, how can I alter the position of the words to make them more powerful? But blessings of aliveness, my friend.
well, I'm going to tell you what, they are very powerful.
They're working. Well, it's just another tool to bring aliveness into my life. That's all.
I like it.
That's all.
And we could use some of those in some of the meditations.
Cool.
If you're willing to just shoot them over to me and share them with me, I'll steal them.
Yeah, maybe we could work on the wording and the content too.
Yeah.
I'll email you some.
Okay, cool.
I got a
Thank you.
stack of them. I got a stack of them, Thomas.
Good for you. That's fun, man.
Anyways, I love you.
I love
Great
you too.
evening.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.